And we are recording. Rachel, what are we going to talk about today?
Unsocial media continued.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Best Good Friends podcast. Joining me is my best good friend, Van Helsing. My name is Lon Chaney, and we are talking about the continuation of unsocial media. So, in the previous episode, we tried to start with our origins of how we came into the internet in general, and then when did social media start to interrupt our lives for the positive or the negative, either way. And we made it up to around the MySpace era, where
Yeah.
MySpace was rotating over to Facebook, and the big issue for that was that we were starting to get the news feed but lose the music aspect of what MySpace brought. So,
hmm
having said that, do you remember the first band page or celebrity page that you followed on
Oh, man,
Facebook?
no.
I, I feel like when I jumped
And I feel like
over.
you do.
Well, I was actually debating that. It's like I can't remember
Uh,
what the first ones were. It was almost
you
like
know,
who am I following on
I don't
MySpace,
know
and do they
if
have
I was
Facebook
on
pages?
Facebook for that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't
Yeah,
know. Like, when I went on Facebook, like I said in the previous episode, I had to have, I feel like I had to have my college ID. So I think I was more there for social, for meeting my college roommate and getting all that set up, and then proceeding on. So I don't even think I
yeah,
had like a immediate band connection on Facebook. That was more MySpace for me.
gotcha. Well, it says sorry, I had the note marked, but I
I know
covered
that's
it
what
up
it
right before we
was,
started.
but I mean,
So Facebook was 2004. I don't feel like I jumped onto Facebook very quickly. It must
yeah,
have
I
been
didn't
around
either.
for a while. There's probably something else that tells us when they started the news feed,
I
which
know I was
I've
on
covered
Facebook
up.
still before I went
Yeah,
over to MySpace or that
yeah,
reverse. What's Blake want to say?
yeah,
Reverse,
yeah,
whatever he says.
yeah. Reverse that. Yeah.
I was on MySpace a long time
Oh,
because I loved
gotcha.
it, and then I just went on Facebook because that's how I had to communicate with my college roommate.
Gotcha. Yeah, I feel
hmm
like it says here 2006 is when Facebook launched its
hmm
news feed. So that must have been the thing that
Okay.
really triggered some people in. So before we get to there, maybe we were jumping a little ahead, but it says that YouTube was actually launched in 2005. I think that that in itself was a direct uh, retaliation to the fact that the majority of people in my specific age, and I hope this was for everybody, was fed
hmm
up with MTV not playing music anymore. They had kind of introduced this real world scenario,
Right.
and they were
I
cycling
was
out
okay
of
with
playing
that,
music
but
videos.
yeah.
Well, I think everybody was, and that's probably where they hooked everybody. It's like, hey, this is interesting. We've never seen people live in a real life scenario together.
I think like, but at that time, wasn't there still they still had like TRL, didn't they?
Well, they still, it
And
was the
Real
beginning of
World.
it. So they kind of
Okay.
collaborated all of it still, but that was one of
Yeah,
those releases where it's like seven people picked to live in a house together, and then they introduced them and done two or three seasons or however many.
because I remember, getting up before school and turning on MTV, and I know they had music videos on at like 7, whatever time it was.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
they
they were
still had
still.
it to an extent, which I loved MTV for music videos. I mean, that was great, and I enjoyed
Yeah,
Real World, but I liked it, in that environment where it was music videos and the real world, not all this other crap. You know
yeah,
how it
there
is
was
now. You don't even see music videos.
a real reality was a lot of people would use MTV in their home as their stereo. They would turn it on and they may not sit and
Yeah.
watch music videos, but it would
Yep.
just be playing all the time. And
So
then
yeah.
once that real world thing kicked in, they kind of went to the okay, this is paying off, and it's content they created, which meant they didn't have to pay
Right. That's
royalties for
true.
it. And of course, I'm quoting some other things that I've heard, so don't think that I
hmm
researched this information. I just so
No
happened to.
slam on the real world because I think it's good content.
Yeah. Well, I believe it was the Osbournes might have been the first live-in
Oh
reality show,
yeah.
but I think
Yeah.
it was a
Forgot
spin-off
about
of the
that.
Real World. Yeah, I think that the Real World might have been the first of its kind.
We can have a whole
Maybe
nother
those are
episode on
flip
that.
flopped, but anyway, I think the Osbournes
Reality
were
shows.
hilarious. Yeah, yeah, we'll bring that into another
What was
episode.
the one I
So
always watched? A side note though, I always watched the one where was it Wife Swap or whatever.
Oh,
I always watched that for some reason. I don't know why, but I thought that was hilarious too.
yeah.
When they would go into like homes where they were like nowhere even near being identical to the spouse they swapped with.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a whole other episode though.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll have to research some of
Yeah.
those reality shows, and maybe we'll turn that into another down the road because that's a great concept. So, we had Real World was coming in, the Osbournes were coming
Hmm.
in, and they were seeing how successful this was, and they were also seeing that they didn't have to pay royalties to play music in this case.
Hmm.
So you had the MTV Beach House and all of that stuff. Do you remember they used to do
Yes.
those spring breaks year round?
Yeah.
So you'd have
Yep.
one. It's like, man, it's December. What are they talking about
I
spring
know.
break? But it's
That
because
was the
you can do
thing.
it
Yeah.
everywhere. So
Yep.
they were creating the content rather than paying for the videos to play, but they still got the
Hmm.
same music that was popular. So that was
Yep.
tricky on their end. And then that slowly morphed away to videos becoming a background. And then they were like, hey, we're messing up. Let's do MTV2. And
Then
then
they probably showed music
MTV2.
videos at like 12 a.m. to whatever.
Yeah, it just got to be a periodic thing where they would show Real World all day long.
Or that was like MTV
MTV,
After Dark.
yeah, beach parties all day long, and then occasionally pepper in some videos, and people
Yeah.
slowly got tired of it. Then I think that YouTube was one of those things where they were like, hey, there's all this content out there. Let's pull it in and
Hmm.
let people showcase these videos that they want to watch, and of course create their own videos and deliver it on their own. So
What year
I
was
might be.
YouTube?
YouTube was created in
Say 2006?
2005. YouTube video
Huh.
website sharing website launches.
Yeah, I don't
So,
think I was on YouTube for a long time, to be honest.
and well, I don't remember when I really started utilizing YouTube for what its purpose actually was,
I
but
think
I'm
I
sure there was
do.
a lot of home videos that started going on, and then
I
people
think,
realized music videos as well.
yeah, I think I, not for like the music video part, but I think I watched it more when I saw, and I think that was, this also was a tie to like Instagram, because they'd post on both Instagram, that they have a new vlog up. I think it's
Yeah,
just following like couples and, real life people that had their vlogs on YouTube, but they were
yeah.
also on Instagram.
Well,
I
after
don't,
that, it says that Reddit also launched in 2005, which became the
I
front
don't
page of the
understand that
internet.
app at all.
Yeah, I think that Reddit is very interesting, but I'm on there only sporadically because I feel like when I'm on there consistently, I start to get roped into some other
I don't
kind of.
understand
I don't know.
it.
It's just a weird demographic. It's
I
cool,
tried posting stuff
but in
before to like
small
sell
bites.
records, and
Small
they're like,
bites.
"This is invalid." You have to like type all this weird stuff in,
Yeah,
or they don't allow it. I just don't
yeah.
understand it, so I just gave up.
It's probably just like anything else. Other social medias, you got to be in the right community to do the thing that you're after.
Hmm.
And if you're not in the right community, the OGs will be like, "Hey,
Yeah,
that's not the way we do it here." So it's
being
almost like
interested
walking
to me.
into a new bar and saying, "Hey, give me whatever's on tap," and they're like, "This is the only thing we sell in here." But you don't have
Yeah,
that. Yeah. So
right.
or you mean you can't smoke in this bar, or you do
It's just
smoke
a
in this bar,
weird. It's
whatever.
a weird app
Yeah.
to me. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a unique flavor happening over there. Let's see. Yahoo acquires Flickr, which is kind of similar to what was
Don't
the
get me
photo
caught on
app?
Photo Bucket
Yeah, Photo Bucket. There we
because
go.
they
So
took all my
Flickr,
photos away.
2005, Facebook launches its photo features, and then in 2006, Twitter launches. So
See, with Facebook,
Facebook had
let's go back to
the
Facebook for a minute because I
okay,
remember
and it's
initially
next
with
with
Facebook,
2006.
yeah, and I remember initially with Facebook, it was a big deal to like things on Facebook. So we were
Yeah,
liking like toilet paper,
yeah,
crackers, Doritos, Sprite. Like you're just liking
yeah,
things. For what reason though? But I know that
yeah,
was a big thing. That was a really big thing when it first started. Was just
yeah,
liking everything. So like you said with the bands, so it was liking bands, but then it was liking the most random stuff, Jeeps,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But now
Well,
it's not even a thing.
this may relate to something that we get to further down the road, but I think that the introduction of being able to just have the simple acknowledgement click, like whether I
Hmm.
like or dislike, didn't they have a dislike button that they got rid of? I can't
Yeah,
remember. It feel like
I'm
there
pretty
was a
sure. Yes,
dislike. Maybe that's another app. I can't remember, but
I
it
would
feels like there
think.
was a dislike and they got rid of it. But instead of being required to comment, like, "Hey Rachel, I really enjoyed this post. I thought that was a fantastic rendition of the Star
Right.
Spangled Banner video you just posted." It would be just a button, and you're supposed to, in your mind, translate that to, "Oh, well, Bobby liked the post, whatever it was. I
Right.
don't have anything to say, but I'm going to let them know I watched it. Click.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Maybe further down the road, and again, we'll cycle back to this when we get there, but maybe
Hmm.
that's led to the current media, because this is 2006 versus
Yeah.
2023, where you're getting shorter content and shorter batches of things.
We
Maybe
talk
that's
about this
part
all
of
the
it.
time with
Yeah.
Instagram. Like everybody likes the reels,
Yeah,
the short
exactly.
clips.
Yep. So you go from the Facebook, Twitter launches. I never understood Twitter. I've tried. Well, the
You
best
know, like Twitter.
description of it was that it was basically like sending a text message to a friend, but everybody
Hmm.
could read it.
See,
That,
my biggest use for Twitter would be following my sports teams, because obviously every sports team has, their reporters or the people that work for them. So like if somebody gets hurt and like I'm at home, I have no idea what's going on. I can go on Twitter and I know what's going on because the
yeah.
person who's working the sidelines is tweeting it. So I use it more for following my sports teams or sporting events, and then my hobby as well, the sports cards. That's it.
Yeah. So would you say
Hmm.
that's pretty? I feel like that's an accurate description of just saying you're getting a text message for the
Yeah,
group, like a group
yeah.
text message,
They
but
pretty
it's
much tell you
public.
what's going on during the game,
Yeah.
like if you're not there. So they just tell you all the inside stuff.
Maybe that's one of the things that it never caught on for me is that I don't really feel like there's like if I'm sending a
Who are
message
you
it
gonna
would be
follow?
direct to a person. So I mean I could probably use it to get information, but as far as utilizing it for me to send information, that's what I meant
That's
by I never got it.
Yep. I just
Yeah.
get information. You really,
So you don't ever post on Twitter, you
I
just
do,
read.
but why?
I'm gonna
I'll
I'm
post
gonna
like my
infiltrate your
sports
Twitter account.
cards because the majority of my followers, the people that I follow, are either
Yeah.
Ohio State football related, women's basketball, or sports cards.
Yeah.
So I post to one of those things.
Gotcha. Do you want to give out your Twitter handle?
What is it? R Manny Cleve. So RMANNYCLE.
Okay, there you go. You just got 20 billion followers.
Yeah, right.
Congratulations, Delaney.
So I just try to post to like what people that are I think that are interested in that follow me, and then who I
Yeah.
follow.
Mostly I follow record labels on there because they'll announce new
Do they still
releases and
post
stuff
on
like
there?
that. Well,
Record
if they're
labels?
like me, I used to tie everything together. So if I posted on one
Okay.
social media, it would spiderweb
See,
to
my thing is
everything.
if I'm following them on Instagram, why do I have to follow them on Twitter?
Well, that's interesting because it used to all link together, but I don't know if it's because of the most current debacle going on between
Hmm.
X,
Yeah.
Twitter,
Oh yeah,
and
sorry,
Facebook.
X.
Yeah. Now we're still in Twitter world in
That's true. Yes.
2006, but they used to connect them. Now they're disconnected. If I post on Instagram, Facebook, those
Let's call it
spider
Twix.
web. Yeah, but but the it doesn't go over to Twix.
Yeah. See, that's my thing though. Like if I
So
follow somebody that I care about, like Little Big Town, I follow them on Instagram. I don't care to follow them
yeah,
on Twitter.
yeah.
I
Well,
don't know.
that's actually getting to the second part of last week's introduction
Ooh.
question, which is: are you confused with social media? Absolutely. Is it a good idea
Yes.
for platforms to share content? That was I don't know if I read all that last time, but
Okay.
that was the second question I had because I almost feel like if I'm going to use Facebook because I like it, I just want to see the Facebook content. And if you've developed your content for an Instagram or a Twitter, should it be shared to another place just
Can we
because
go
I'm
back to
there?
Facebook for a minute?
Yeah, absolutely. We're still in
I
Facebook world. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know how I feel about this app anymore. I'm on it, I think more for like my mom, or like,
Hi, mom.
because my mom tags me and stuff all the time. So I'm like, I can't
Yeah.
leave Facebook.
Yeah.
Like I post, or that's really how I keep in close contact with relatives that I don't see or talk to also.
Yeah.
But I don't like Facebook.
Yeah.
I think if they
It.
just, people respond to you if you post something negative or something they don't agree with. If you
Yeah.
post something positive, I don't see as much reaction. And that's just me personally, maybe, but
Did you feel like that in the beginning days of
no,
using Facebook? So it felt
no.
like more community oriented then, or
Seriously,
positive, I should say.
I don't know, the last, let's just say it, since COVID.
Okay, so looking at say 2020 forward, for example.
That's just from what I can remember. I just
Yeah.
feel like it's so negative on there, though.
Yeah.
You
Well,
can't post
okay.
anything. Like, if you like something, somebody's going to come back and say, oh, no, that's stupid. I hate that. Like, they're going to
Yeah.
push you down in the dirt.
Well, when it first started, I feel like there was a sense of, okay, we're friends, we're having a conversation. One of our other friends joins in the conversation, and we were happy to see him. It's like, hey, here's somebody that's Rachel's friend. I'm happy to be introduced to him.
Yeah,
But
I
now,
like that
maybe
feature.
it's, yeah, maybe it's the amount of people that use it and the way the algorithm works that it
Yeah.
might bring in a total stranger that it says either maybe it's somebody
Hmm.
that you follow or they follow you,
Hmm.
maybe you're not close friends with or I'm not close friends with, but
Yeah.
they feel like they have to have an opinion on something they've seen because
That's
they've
why I just don't even
now,
bother to comment on stuff.
well, they've developed this mental, I don't know if it's a mental notion, I don't know if that's the right way of
Hmm.
saying it, that they feel like, hey, I have an opinion and I should express it.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
totally okay not to have an opinion on something. It's okay to
Yeah.
see something that you agree with and not comment. It's okay to see something that you
Mhm.
disagree with and not comment. And
Right.
I'll be honest, when I think about the times that people have preached to me about something on Facebook, I
Hmm.
can't think of a single time that somebody said something on Facebook where I was like, you know what, they just totally changed my mind.
Yeah, I
So,
don't care for it anymore. I'm
yeah,
fully Instagram right now just because I
yeah,
don't see. Well, I keep it with my hobby as well, but
yeah,
even with that, I just don't see negative on there. So I'm
yeah.
usually on Instagram.
Well, I try to stay out of the real debate kind of things because once you
Yeah.
voice an opinion, you consistently get updated
I
with
don't
the
think
other
social media
comments.
should be
Yeah.
used for that anyways.
Well, I think when it comes to debates, it's fantastic to have a
Oh
debate,
yeah,
and it's even
yeah.
more important to have a debate with
If it's
somebody that you
constructive.
disagree with. But verbal and text can be taken
Hmm.
so
Yeah,
differently.
that's true. Hmm.
If I say, "Hey, I like that," somebody else might look at it and go, "Yeah, Bobby's on my side," and somebody else might say, "Hey, I like that. Why is he being such a smart aleck?"
Or being
You know, it's like,
sarcastic or something.
yeah, so it's hard for you
Hmm.
to understand what the content actually
I just
translates to.
I
I
don't know
think
what's
that causes
happened.
a lot of issues when people say things and then it's like, that's not what I meant, dude. And you
Well,
just
because some
wrote this
people
paragraph about how
like
you
me,
hate
I,
me.
I can be totally like sarcastic. I love being
Yeah,
sarcastic, and then there's other
yeah, me
people
too.
who no, they don't have like 1% of sarcasm.
Yeah,
But you don't know that.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And you hope that the joke goes over, but like many comedians,
That's
if
why I
you
don't
know,
even bother commenting.
sarcasm is a source of comedy for sure. We laugh about it when we do it. That's why we like it. But
Yeah.
some people just don't connect the sarcasm. And I've
Yeah,
been
I
there
just
before.
don't
I've
know.
read something and totally misinterpreted it. Oh, this is a great
Hmm.
example. Also, when you're typing something, I remember once upon a time, before everybody had translated over to Facebook, there was a local community and we all hung out there. We chatted. It was in the days of, going to the soandso.com and you
Okay.
had your, what am I trying to think of? Goodness gracious, your community page, basically. So I go on there and I typed this sentence that was excited. It was early in the morning. I had checked the internet. It's like, wow, this would be great. I did not put a comma in that sentence. And I left and I went to work.
Hmm.
So it was taken as me giving an anti comment. In my excitement,
Okay.
a typo created this big thread of people
There's
going, I
just
can't
no.
believe that you're being so negative about this. This is a
Yeah.
great thing. And so I come back from work 8 hours later and I'm
No
just
turning
like, I
back.
open it up and I'm like, oh no, I've made a mistake. And I looked and I was like, the people that defended me, the people that got mad at me, the whole thread was in there in the message board. That's what I was trying to think of, message board. So, and I
Yes.
was like,
Okay.
hey guys, that was a
Yeah, that
typo.
takes me
There should have
back.
been yeah, should have been a comma right here, which
Hmm.
meant that I was excited about it as opposed to being pessimistic about it. And that just changed the whole thing. And it made me feel terrible because, first of all, the band and the venue I was a huge fan of, but just a typo made it sound like I didn't like either of them. And so now that it's all said and done, I corrected it, and then people are
Right.
like,
It
oh, well,
just.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
But does it resonate with the people who read it before, or are they still angry? Or so
No.
anyway, again, a simple typo versus verbal can totally get blown out of
Yep.
proportion, and you didn't even realize it. And that was for sure, before Facebook or any of that stuff. So message
Hmm.
boards, those were the fun days, in my opinion. A lot of people left message boards because Facebook was so kind of, you had to join a message board. Once you joined
I
Facebook, you kind
totally
of joined the
forgot about
larger
those. I think that
network.
was a little
Yeah.
too advanced for me at the time.
I
But I know what you
tried
mean.
to create another message board after Facebook existed. The ones that I was following, they had all went away, and I was talking to my friend about it, and I was like, I really do miss that. We should get
Yeah.
out of this world, and go back to that as more of a
Hmm.
community thing. I could not get anybody to leave Facebook. Sorry, I wasn't even asking people to leave Facebook. I could not get anybody to jump over and sign up
And
for
you're
a
just like
message
kind
board
of
that I created.
incognito in message boards, right?
Yeah,
Is it just
yeah.
like a name? When you type, it
Oh
just showed
no,
a
well,
name?
I went by Monument at the time, which everybody would
Okay.
know
But
as
there's
me
no
because it was
pictures, right?
uh, not on. Well, you could upload them, but they're usually funny. Like you put like for
Okay,
me,
that's
I
what I
think I
thought.
had a
I'm
monkey
just
or
trying to
something on
remember
mine.
back to.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
you had the avatars that you could use or
Okay.
whatever. So, but yeah, the one that my favorite one was Tar Black Vomit, which I don't really want to name drop a whole lot, but that was way before Facebook, and a lot of bands used to be on that, and a lot of podcasts, and we had our podcast on there before Facebook come around, and that's where I
Hmm.
actually started the Monuments and Ruin podcast, was with another group that was in the Tar
Okay.
Black Vomit
Cool.
forums. So we were connecting with all these other podcasters and musicians, and it was a lot of fun. And then that you could see the change when Facebook's newsfeed came along. That message board, you started seeing less and
Hmm.
less people posting there, and then it eventually went the way of the dinosaur, unfortunately.
And
But
they just
that
went
was a good
over.
place to
Yeah.
be. Same way with stonerrock.com. That was another message board that was super cool. Or maybe it was allthat'sheavy.com. Sorry, I might have said the wrong one. You could go there, meet
Yeah, I
people,
don't
find
know.
music. It just dwindled away with
Okay.
Facebook.
Yeah, I don't know that
So,
one.
yeah, so message boards. That wasn't even part of the discussion. So after that, Facebook 2006 launches the news feed. 2007 Tumblr. I thought Tumblr was kind of interesting, but I never got any real action from it.
That was a lot of work.
Yeah. Pinterest is next in 2010. Actually, it says AOL buys Bebo. I don't know what Bebo was. Um,
Um,
do you ever use Pinterest for anything?
yeah, I like Pinterest.
I
It's
think it's
definitely
kind
not
of
as
interesting too.
popular now,
Yeah.
but I still use it for like recipes.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to go and look at specifically for lawn care stuff. I really got into,
That's what I was gonna say.
looking at people's backyard
Mhm.
stuff, and yeah, crazy.
I'll go on there for like craft ideas.
Yeah,
If I need like storage ideas or recipes, but I'll still go on
yeah,
there. Yeah.
yeah. I think it's interesting. I don't utilize it as far as posting content,
Yeah. I
but I
don't either.
definitely would get in there and drift around and find stuff like
Yeah,
maybe
because
home
you
decor.
when it first started out, you could have like all these different categories that you posted in, right? So you'd have like food
Yeah,
and emo and music.
yeah,
Now it's like I don't think anybody cares about that now.
yeah. Exactly. You're exactly right.
That reminds me of a
So
meme I saw the one day. I gotta tell you about this because it's
okay,
totally me.
yeah.
It's like it just shows some. I don't know what the meme is, but it says I'm not emo anymore, and then it has like the asterisk and it says Evanescence, My Immortal plays on the radio, and you're like,
my
that's
my
totally
favorite
me.
my favorite emo meme was a guy with a push mower, and it said, "I wish my lawn was emo so it would cut
Yeah,
itself."
yeah. Oh yes, terrible, but it's true.
Yeah, it's just so
I
sarcastic and
don't know
funny.
the Evanescence one though. Like hits. I'm like
Yeah.
yes.
So good. Yeah, that's definitely a moment in time for sure, and all of that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
That genre of music. So after Pinterest, we've got Instagram launches in 2010. Now Instagram, you've already kind of talked about it. That's still probably one of my favorites that have come about.
Yeah, I
I
love
enjoy the
Instagram.
idea of it being photo driven as
And I
opposed to
don't think I
text
really
driven.
figured out like when I first had it, I just posted like random pictures, but now that I
Yeah,
have my hobby page, it makes sense now. Like before, I don't think it really made sense to me. Like, why am I just
yeah,
posting random stuff and people that I'm friends with on Facebook are following me on Instagram? Like, that's not fun. But
yeah,
now I've met so many people on Instagram that I don't know in real life, but they're super cool and nice, and we support each other just
yeah,
by posting hobbies.
yeah.
So,
Well, I think Instagram's the coolest for sure, and I think that the effort I put into Instagram, it's probably a little bit lost because I use the platform incorrectly, but I also tie it to my Facebook page with the store.
right.
So when
Yeah.
I post photos of records and I do an album review, I don't know of
Hmm.
anybody that really scrolls through Instagram and clicks to read.
Right.
But
That's
if
not,
it
yeah.
shares over to Facebook and then they click to
Mhm.
read, they read it. I don't know. I
Well,
get
we've talked
occasional
about that
comments.
before, though, right? Because we
Yeah,
talked about reels versus long paragraphs.
yeah,
Like, what gets the more clicks, the most
yeah,
clicks? Do people want to read anymore? Like, I'll still read, but does this
yeah.
generation want to read long paragraphs or they want to see a 20-second clip?
Yeah.
and then move
Well,
on.
that's definitely where we're getting because I mean, we're just now at 2010, and we can see that all of this world is opening up. The things that we
Hmm.
currently know 13 years after the point we're talking about is it's almost like it flip flopped itself
Yeah.
because for Instagram everybody was like, oh man, cool, I got photos of my kids, I got photos of my gear, my
Hmm.
guitars and stuff.
Yeah.
I want to share. And in general, I know you and I are both the same way with this when it comes to photography. It's like, look at all these cool black and white photos, I love that type of thing,
Hmm.
and you said it as well.
Yeah.
So Instagram was a fresh idea. Hey, they're talking about stuff over here. Let's use this
Yeah.
for photography. Even I don't know if a lot of people realize it, but that original Instagram logo, I think it might still be the same thing. It's one of those Polaroid cameras. I don't know if you've
Yeah.
ever
Right.
picked up on
Yep.
that or not.
Yep.
Somebody had to tell me that in the beginning. They were holding one up. They were
No.
like,
Yeah.
look, it's the
Cool.
Instagram
Yep.
logo. And I was
Hmm.
like, it sure is.
I just think like the
So,
whole layout, everything about it, is just makes everything so much easier, like
yeah.
flowing. Facebook's kind of jumbled with different stuff, but I mean Instagram, it's all the same,
Yeah.
patterns.
Do you think that Instagram doesn't allow hyperlinks so you'll stay on their platform? Because Facebook will allow
Probably.
hyperlinks to
Yeah.
jump out into other places.
I'm sure.
Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, you've got that one chance and it's in your bio where you can click
Hmm.
something. That's
Yeah.
the only
Right. That's
hyperlink
it.
they allow.
Yep.
Yeah. So maybe do you think that's a good or bad idea on their side that they would not allow
It's not
hyperlinks?
hurting them.
Well, that's true.
I think it's kind of cool that they,
Yeah.
that they're like that. They don't really follow suit of other
Yeah.
platforms with that.
Even though they eventually are co-owned by the same persons.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's interesting that they don't allow the hyperlinks because I feel
Yeah.
like it would redirect traffic to other places.
They're
You
not too
have,
concerned, obviously.
yeah, yeah, and even though I do type out a bunch of stuff in my posts,
Hmm.
there's generally not a lot of conversation, like
Right.
consistent repeat conversations. Like
Hmm.
you might have a hey, great photo, or I love that album, and somebody else might say the same thing, basically, hey, I love
Yeah.
that album.
I know.
But where Facebook has this thread that continues to grow and you'll read
Hmm.
other people's comments, I don't feel like a
Yeah.
lot of people scroll the Instagram comments to see if somebody has said the same thing.
Probably not. I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, I do too. I do too. So maybe we're wrong
That
about that,
much
or
we
maybe I'm wrong.
ever, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But,
Because
okay,
we
so
grew up
if
with
you're in
MySpace.
Instagram and somebody
Hmm.
has said basically the same thought that you were going to say, do you piggyback off of their comment or
Let
do
me
you just
think.
post a new comment?
I probably just like it.
Okay, and don't comment at all. Just leave
I
it at
don't
that.
remember. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't
See,
comment too much, really.
I feel like on Facebook, if I'm going to place a comment and somebody's already relayed the thought,
Yeah.
I'll just
You like
piggyback
it?
off of theirs and say, yeah, I agree. I think this part's cool,
I'm
as
more of a
opposed to try
liker.
to make a new one. And then if it's Instagram, I don't think I really piggyback off of anybody's. I'll either not comment at all or
Hmm.
I'll just, post a new comment like, yeah, this is a cool
Yeah.
record. So, very interesting there. Okay, Snapchat 2011. Did you ever get into Snapchat?
Yeah, but I haven't had it for a while now.
I never had a Snapchat. I know a
And
lot
it
of
was
people that
fine,
got
I guess.
interested. Yeah.
See, the funny thing is, um, I know somebody, I'm not gonna say names, obviously, but I
Yeah.
know somebody who actually, that's the only way they communicate with their significant other.
Okay.
I'm
So
like,
just a Snapchat,
this is
huh?
a teenage age.
Yeah.
So like junior in high school. This is what they text on it, like in the
Yeah.
chat part. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, don't you have her number to text her? Like, you have to text her Snapchat.
Yeah. That is so bizarre.
I'm
But
like, what? I don't understand. I thought it was just to
so
send pictures.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so this is actually I just looked at the counter on the recording. I can't believe that we've made it this far and still are only in
I
2011.
know.
I thought for sure we were going to wrap this up today. So let's pause here and call it a day on this episode because the
We can start off with
Snapchat.
Snapchat.
Yeah, I know some people that use Snapchat, so that'll be a good way for me to
We can
kick
start
into
off
next
there.
episode, and then we'll talk about the next steps after that because wow, I just that blows my mind that we've not even gotten to what I thought was going to happen tonight. So,
I was thinking of another segment we could do that would only take like 5 minutes, and that's it. I could read off what pre-orders I have coming.
oh yeah,
Because I have like 6. I'm like, you know how like for Target they don't charge you until it ships, and I'm like,
yeah,
Target just hits you right in the ass with pre-orders. I'm like,
Yeah. Yep. So, speaking of that, before we
mhm.
sign off, do you think that social media gets you in your wallet more often? Or do you think that you follow just bands through emails and stuff like that more often?
Oh no, I totally buy it because of social media.
Okay. See, I feel like
I'm
I
not gonna
get more
deny it.
email information because, well, we'll
I
talk about that
still,
in the next
yeah,
episode.
it's
Ha!
fine.
A
Yeah,
cliffhanger!
yeah. Ooh,
Yeah.
ooh.
Okay, so read us off your pre-orders. What do you have going here?
All right, so let me see. I have Oppenheimer coming from Mondo.
Have you seen the film
That's a
yet?
no, but I
I have
listened to
not.
the score and it's very good. It's a 3
Cool.
LP.
Wow.
It's a
Okay.
big one, so I'm kind of nervous about it coming, to be honest.
Yeah. 45
Um,
RPM?
yeah,
Okay.
I'm nervous though that it's going to be a scene split,
Yeah.
which is
It's
nice
always
about
dangerous.
TerraVision because they give you that option that you can say, please send my LPs outside of the sleeve, which I love.
I
Love
think
it.
that every person that's shipping records should offer
Yeah.
that. I
And it's
really do.
they just have it like as a side thing on their website, so you just click it and it
Yeah.
automatically goes with your order. But I think it's just
Yeah.
so awesome they do that because I'm like crap. This is a 3 LP banger.
Yeah. Well, as a
Uh,
label, I'm surprised. Sorry, as a label and store,
yeah,
I'm surprised the amount of people that do not request for something to get shipped outside the
I
sleeve
do it
because the
every
option
time
is
I
there.
can.
Yeah,
Oh, I
the
do it every
option is
time.
there, and one time since I've added the option to the website, has somebody said ship it outside the sleeve.
Oh, I'm automatic.
Yeah,
It's like, and if I forget, I email them
yeah.
and I'm like,
I
please
always
ship these
email somebody
outside.
directly.
It's gonna be a scene split.
Yeah,
If it's a
I
3
would
LP.
prefer that. I'm going to listen to it anyway. Why worry about it
Mm-hmm.
staying sealed? As far as the
Yeah.
shrink wraps or hype stickers or
Well,
all
we're
that
not gonna
other
get into
stuff people
that.
care about, yeah, we talked about that last episode. So it's not
Kick
like
rocks,
I'm
homie.
caring about any of that. I would, if something happens in shipping, I don't mind that there's corner dings and stuff. But
Yeah, I
if
don't
I
either.
requested it for it to be shipped outside of the sleeve and it doesn't,
It's
and
got
the
like a
seam's
whole top
busted,
seam split.
that bothers me. Having a busted spine doesn't bother me, but if I've
The seam
requested
split
it and
though.
don't get it and it gets busted, that really kind of gets to me. Only because not because it's ruining the listening time of the record, but because I
Yeah,
requested that be avoided.
right.
Yeah. Okay, so
So that's
Oppenheimer.
yep. So I got Oppenheimer coming. It's a 3 LP. I don't know if it's an exclusive or a special edition of The Nightmare Before Christmas, but I'm excited about this one when it
Killer.
comes. They did something. I forget what it was. I'll have to show it off. Maybe I'll do an unpacking when I get that in the mail.
That would be awesome.
And then I have from At the Movies, which is my favorite, not my favorite label because TerraVision probably is, but At the Movies would be my second favorite. I love their
Yeah.
releases.
That's music
So
on
I'm
vinyl,
getting,
right?
yep,
Yeah.
it's just their soundtrack part. They
Gotcha.
call it At the Movies. I'm getting The Perfect Storm, which I've been waiting for forever to be released on vinyl. That's James
Okay.
Horner, who passed
Okay.
away in a plane crash a while ago. I don't know if you knew that.
Uh,
So I always wonder, like since he passed away, like how do they get rights to release his stuff? Did he have to leave somebody in
um,
charge of that? Do you know?
it might have already been in some kind of a cycle.
Okay.
Like maybe
Because if
he co-owns with someone else,
okay.
so when he passes away, the
Mhm.
co-ownership gets passed along to someone
Because if
else.
you look up his movies, there's so many that could be released on vinyl. I'm like, what? Like, why is
Yeah.
this not released on vinyl? And finally, they released The Perfect Storm, which is
Yeah.
so good. And then I got 1883, and then Iris. So I'm excited.
Okay. Is 1883? I might have the
The
confused, but is that a
Yellowstone
mic?
spin-offs,
Oh, okay. Never mind. Never mind. I'm thinking of
which
something
I
else.
don't care about.
Maybe
Side
it's
note,
1923. There's a Mike
that's a
Patton one that's
spin-off
in
too
there
of
though.
Yellowstone.
Yeah. Okay.
They're all
No,
Yellowstone
what am I
related.
thinking of? If you're watching this in the comments, let me
Help
know what's
Bobby
the
out.
Mike Patton album. It's a number. It's a number. I can't remember what it's called,
Okay.
and it is a soundtrack.
See, I
So I
don't
just
care
can't
about
remember.
Yellowstone at all. Like I don't like that show. But
I can't
the
watch it. I don't
score,
have it.
the score is great.
Cool.
I'm totally a buyer of scores or soundtracks, even if I hate the movie or show.
Yeah, at all times. Yeah.
Because it happens all the time. Like the Wonder Woman
Hmm.
release, they just did 1984. Same thing. Like that movie was not good, but the score is so good.
I still have not seen the film.
I have, and then I
So
think I have to look up. But I have others coming too. But those are ones that are being shipped right now that I'm so excited about.
killer, killer.
And then
Well,
TerraVision just put
fantastic.
out Rumpelstiltskin.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So as part of their Unhappy Campers Club. I'm going to be
Yeah,
getting that pretty soon too.
and that
Which is
was
more,
I remember watching that and just thinking like,
yeah.
what is going on here?
And I'm like, so one click away from buying a T-shirt for that, but I have not
Yeah.
yet because it's black.
You
I'm
mean
not
you don't
wearing
need
black
one more
today.
black T-shirt? All right, so closing out on
Pre-order
black
those.
T-shirts. Get out there, support your local labels, your foreign labels, your
Yes.
whatever labels. Buy stuff and support the bands and the artists, the composers, the scores, the films.
Ship
Get onto
those
social
3 LPs
media.
outside of the sleeve.
Yeah, get onto social media. Click that like button. Speaking of, if you watch this far, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. Let us know that you're watching. We're glad that you're here. Thank you so much for tuning in this far. We'll be back again with another episode soon. Rachel, anything else you want to close out with?
No, I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody watching. Keep following us and supporting us. We appreciate it.
All right, we're out of here.
That's it.
Thank you.
Bye.